Hi Yins, how are you doing today? It is Monday, December 28th, 2020. Happy post Flossmas 2020. Today is the 28th day of Flossmas, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm, again, as you can see here, I am having a lazy, kind of just loungy kind of day today, even though I have been very productive. So I hope you are as well. And a little bit, just a little bit of updates as far as non-crafting related. I know Saturday, not yesterday, Saturday I had mentioned that I was going for COVID testing. I still do not have my test results back yet. I'm fairly certain I'm going to be positive because of the four people, me included, that conduct the church services. I'm the only one that has not come back positive yet. So I'm fairly certain I'm coming back positive. And because of that, I'm also certain because of some of the symptoms I'm now starting to exhibit, such as congestion, which I'm actually feeling pretty good right now, but I've been getting a lot of pressure up here in the head and up in the sinus area. I'm really congested up in that area, but not really like runny nose or anything like that. And then also I've completely lost all sense of taste. And in the grand scheme of things, I know that's not a big deal. You know, a lot of people are doing a lot worse with this than I am. However, losing your sense of taste sucks. The fact that, every single thing you eat tastes exactly the same, and my coffee today tasted like hot water. So it's kind of a bummer. Especially whenever we have all these wonderful foods around the holidays and I can't really taste anything. And so I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that I have my taste back by New Year's, because New Year's Day I always cook pork and sauerkraut as a tradition, because you have to have pork and sauerkraut on the first day of the new year. Some people may say it's New Year's Eve. I do either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. So you have good luck. And I want to be able to taste it because I've been looking forward to my pork and sauerkraut for weeks. But right now, I can't taste anything. It all tastes the same. And basically, I say it all tastes the same, but it all tastes like nothing. Like there's no flavor that anything tastes like. I was at first saying cardboard, but it's really not even like cardboard. It's just like bland. So there you go. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Today's my last day of my mini vacation before I go back to work tomorrow. Obviously, I'm not going to physically be going to work because I have to isolate until my test results come back, and most likely I'll have to isolate longer if they're positive. So I will be working from this very spot right where I'm sitting for the next 3 days, and then we have the long weekend for New Year's Day. So I've been trying to be very productive today and last night to try to get some last minute stuff done before I go back to work, because I don't know how much more crafting time I'm going to have this year other than my normal evenings. So I wanted to just kind of like knock some stuff out of the way. So first off, let me show you my only stitching I'm going to show you, because everything else has been knitting this week or last night and today. But I wanted to show you another finish that I had. This is one of my very first finishes I ever had. And this is my only ink circles I've ever done. This is ink circles, and then we're going to get some, there we go. Ink circles, reflections of New York City, or NYC, or whatever they call it. So this is reflections of, I did this this is my very first design that I ever did that called for silk, that I used silk for. I used the Gloriana, and I don't remember the name of the Gloriana, but I have it. No, I don't have it here. Autumn maybe, or something like that. It's definitely right up my alley as far as colors. Browns and golds and rusts. So ochres, those are definitely my colors. So this is on a 28 count even weave by Picture This Plus, and I don't remember the name of the color. And I never even thought to look it up, and I don't know if I have it anywhere. So there you go. That is my reflections of New York City. I have this in an IKEA frame that I framed myself. It is, and I think this is also the first design I ever framed by myself. And there we go. So it sits in my bedroom. I kind of forget about this one a lot because it's kind of in the corner of my bedroom and I just don't look at it all that often. But I do really like the way it turned out. I've learned I'm not a big ink circles fan. I'm not a big mandala fan just because I don't like stitching the same thing over and over and over again. Plus, I'm not a huge variegated colors fan because I don't like to have to do every X by itself. I'm definitely much more of a all one leg across the row and then come back and do it that way. But I do really like how this turned out. So there is my cross stitch for the day. The rest of the stuff, and I have some really big exciting stuff that just kind of happened. But I don't know. I don't know what got into me last night. So first off, I do think I put maybe 2 more rows into my shawl that I'm working on. I'm not going to show you that because it looks exactly the same as what I did before, just with 2 more rows of blue. So I didn't even bring that over to show you. But I do have some more stuff. So last night I went ahead and, if you all remember, I said I was going to put away that pair of socks that I had started because I'm not sure how I feel about them right now. So I wanted to have another pair of socks on the go. So I went ahead and cast on a pair of socks yesterday. And I am doing this pair of socks on a US 1 using Huntington by Valley Yarns. So this is a 75% superwash merino and a 25% nylon. They come in 50-gram skeins, and I went ahead and I've had this yarn for a little bit now, and I wanted to go ahead and use it up. So this is, I forget what the name of this is. I actually can't find the names of these 2 colors. I have other yarns in this as well though. So this is going to be the contrasting color for the toe and heel. And this is the color for the main body of the sock. There we go. I am knitting this again on a US 1. I'm doing my toe up. I learned a new way to do the toe so I get a rounded toe, which I really, really like. And here is my progress so far. So again, I am doing the toe up, which I did. And I'm doing this in my own kind of little pattern that I'm deciding to do. So this has a 3x1 rib on the top, and then it's stockinette on the bottom. So it will be a 3x1 rib the whole way up the length of the sock. I will put in the, whenever I get to the heel, I will put in the heel using German short rows, and then I'll continue the pattern the whole way up the sock. But I really, really like how this is turning out so far. I absolutely love this yarn. So if you're looking for an inexpensive, lightweight sock yarn, I think this Valley Yarns Huntington is an excellent sock yarn. I think it's really soft and comfortable. And it, I don't know, I really like the way it's knitting up. So there we go, is my sock start of the day. Now, next big exciting thing, I have a knitting finish. And this one was just kind of like, I don't know what got into me last night, because I had mentioned earlier in the month that I had no interest in stitching this or working on this or finishing this anytime soon. But people, I finished my sweater. And I put it on and it kind of fits, which I'm excited about. So I think I'm going to wash it again because it still feels very, very stiff and woolly. And I think if it still has some of the oils in it from the yarn, because Holzgarn ships their yarn with the oil still in it. So whenever you wash it, it plumps and it becomes nice and soft. And I don't think this is soft enough yet. So I'm going to try to wash it again. But I wanted to show you guys first. Here is this is my cardigan and the pattern. I actually have the pattern here to show you. This is out of the Vintage Knits Rowan book. The Rowan Vintage Knits, blah, blah, blah. Rowan Vintage Knits book. I knit up the Gerald by Kim Hargraves. That's what it looks like. Mine doesn't look that good, but that is what the finished design looks like. It's the Gerald, and I use Holst Garn in Marlin. This is the super soft in Marlin, and I use 2 strands. So I knit this double. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So I went ahead and put on the elbow patches. I don't know why, because it was much easier than I thought it was going to be to stitch on these patches. So there are my 2 elbow patches. And then I went ahead and put on the shoulder patches, which I don't know if I did it right, but that's how it said to do it, and that's what I did. But there we go. And I am very pleased with how it turned out. I don't know if it's still not my favorite sweater, but maybe once I wash it again and see how it turns out washed, then I may like it more and more. So that is my sweater all done. And then today, I kind of got the urge to remember how I talked about my vest that I had. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen a post about this. But my vest that I had stitched up and I was wearing the other week or the other day, I forget when it was. I wasn't super happy with how the ribbing at the bottom kept rolling up, and I determined it's most likely because my cast on edge, whenever I first initially cast it on, was too tight, so it kept wanting to roll on itself. So I went ahead and I picked up the stitches, I cut off the old ribbing, and I'm now in the middle of knitting up the ribbing on the revised fixed base. So didn't take any time at all to pick up those stitches, cut off the ribbing, and now I am knitting up the rib. So I am deviating from the original pattern ever so slightly because the ribbing on this one does also include there is a cable in this sweater. Right there you can see the cable. The cable actually did go down into the ribbing. I didn't want to deal with the cable and the ribbing, so I went ahead and just did a straight 2x1 rib the whole way around, and it adds up to the same amount of stitches that are on the needles. So that is what I decided to do, and I'm very happy with that because there's no reason why the cable can't just start at the main body instead of through the ribbing. So I think I'm about halfway done with what I want the ribbing to be, the length of the ribbing to be. I think I'm going to do about another that many rows more, and then I will bind it off, and hopefully my sweater vest will make me much more happy than what it was before. I really like my sweater vest, but I wasn't happy with how it was turning out. Now the only other question I have about this, and I do have a question for all of you, is that I actually had a hole in my sweater, and I don't know if you can see right here. You can kind of see where it's puckered, and I tried to mend that hole, but I didn't do a very good job. So if any of you know any good tutorials on YouTube that would teach me how to mend a hole in a sweater, I do have extra yarn like this, so I could definitely darn it or whatever, but I don't know how to do that. So if there's any tutorials out there that you could recommend, please link them below, or email me, and I would be ever so grateful because I want to fix that. It's on the back, it's on my back shoulder, so you can't really see it unless you're like right up there, but it's just one of those things that I know it's there and it really bothers me. So I want to fix that right there. You can see it right there. But anyways, otherwise, I should probably have this done in a day or two, and my sweaters will all be done or fixed before the new year. So I'm really excited and happy about that. So that is my progress. So tonight, I don't know what I'm going to do because I still have a little bit of a headache today. So we'll just have to check in tomorrow to see what I get up to the rest of the night. So I hope you all have a wonderful night. Happy Flossmas Day 28. And, I hope you all have a lot of crafting time and you are enjoying your holiday time with your crafting, your friends, your family, whatever you are getting up to these days. So until I see you all tomorrow, happy stitching, happy crafting, and as always, don't forget to always be creative.